I have too much to do tonight to do the history show I wanted to do. And I have a board meeting tomorrow night, so probably will not be able to do it tomorrow. But figured I still have more LNC things to cover, so I would just do boom, 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 multiple shows about those to get them out of the way, because they just pile up, don't they? And I did discuss this issue earlier today. Oh my God, look at all this crap I got piled up here. I did discuss this earlier today in the Cult of RONR, but again, don't expect everyone to watch a 3.5-hour stream or whatever it was, so I wanted to cover it here. This is part 2 because I covered before the awfulness of the minutes of the current national secretary, and I put in quotes because I'm still the national secretary no matter what a rogue LNC says. I was duly elected by the delegates. However, it's the person they tend to think is their secretary. Super nice guy, terrible secretary, at least at a national level. Might be fine at a county level, definitely not a state or national level. So let me give you another example of why. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to share my screen. So you guys got to give me a minute. I should have figured this out before I did this. See, this is why I am not a professional or producer. See, just like he's not a professional secretary. But I don't claim to be a professional producer. I tell you my incompetence each and every time. So let me figure out how I can share this screen. So here we go. Let's see. Share screen. Yay. All right. So what you're seeing here is the electronic vote tally. Now, this is something I instituted. It's not required by our policy manual or anything like that. But it was instituted to make it easier and if you see me looking over here, that's because my big copy of it is over here, and I don't have the best vision. It was instituted to make it easier for members to follow along with an LNC vote. So if there was a particular motion they were interested in, they wouldn't have to be trying to count votes from an email list. Sometimes email chains get broken. Sometimes votes are sent directly to the secretary and not to the list. This way, hello, Stephen. This way they could just go and look at a tally. So this was something I instituted. I would love to see it in the policy manual. But here's the current ballot. It's assigned a ballot number, which is at the bottom tab there, which is 20220210-01. It lets you know it's the first ballot of February 10th. So this ballot was started February 10th. We are now February, 13th? And I just noticed something else here. Wow. Each time I look at this, it's worse and worse. Okay. So this ballot was started February 10th. It ends February 17th, 10 days later. Got your ballot number up at the top here. You've got your ballot. You've got your co-sponsors. I didn't even check to see if those co-sponsors were right. Now, one thing you'll notice, it says tally last updated. This is a formula that he apparently screwed up because it says tally last updated on February 5th. I don't know how that's possible when the ballot was started on the 10th, but okay. And it has no votes. However, 7 people, let me see if I can I don't think I can make that bigger. I'm explaining, let's see if that's any better. And let me see if I can do this too. Let me see. This will help y'all. Here we go. Let me scroll down so you can see down here at the bottom. It says tally last updated February 5th. Interesting, since this sheet wasn't started until February 10th. So somebody screwed up an Excel formula. And it's now the 13th. Multiple members have voted already. This tally is only useful to members if you update it contemporaneously with the votes. Now, obviously, you can't do it within the second, but you should at least be doing it every day. But he hasn't recorded any votes. None. Now, by contrast, let me open a new tab. Here's, because I'm still keeping track of votes because I'm still the secretary. Here's my tally. As you can see, I noticed myself as being exiled because I don't recognize that I'm not on the LNC. But you can see I have noted the votes so far. There's been 7 votes so far. And I have that noted. And notice my tally last updated is correct. It was today because I didn't screw up the Excel formula. Notice something else I do. There's a big red box up at the top of mine that says, all votes are linked to the email in which they were cast. In case someone says, I didn't think, say, Ms. Adams voted that way, you can see, you could go right to the email itself and see for yourself how she voted to make sure that I was right. Also, if you go up to the ballot here, it also is a link to the actual ballot. Let's go back to the quote unquote secretaries. His is in blue, but it's not linked. He never bothered to link it at all, even though that's what you do. Okay. You might go, well, maybe he's just really busy. He screwed up one of these. Let's go look at this one, which is an executive committee vote, which already there's a big problem with here. This isn't his problem. Problem is that these executive committee vote are not held publicly. And we don't allow private votes. They've got a problem with this. This is an LNC problem, not a secretary problem. But you notice A is presently what? Like, dude, you can't even get your Excel formatting so that the whole sentence appears. Tally last updated on 2/13. Okay. But you kept it as presently rather than passed or failed. And votes are due by December 26, 2021. How can that be when this ballot was started February 9th, 2022? Like, you don't even notice shit like this? You don't, I know you just copied an old executive committee ballot form because that's what anyone would do, but you didn't zero out all of the totals? It's crazy. And this ballot should be over by now because everybody voted. When it says ballot ends February 16th, that's when it automatically ends. But our rules are if everyone has voted, it ends early. So this should say the motion passed. Okay, particularly since you looked at it today. Let's go to the next one. Let's see if there's and here it says all votes are linked to the email in which they're cast. You see any links? I don't see any links. And he didn't put the ballot number up there either. My God, each time I look at this, it gets worse and worse. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, there's the motion. It's not linked. Okay, there's your co-sponsors. Co-sponsors are supposed to be in alphabetical order. R comes after N. Each time I look at it, it gets worse and worse. Okay. Now here, my God, it's this ballot has ended. It says votes are due by February 6th, which is correct. So it's ended. But it still says it's presently failing. Once it ends, you're supposed to change that language to failed or passed. It's not presently failing. It's definitely failed. It's done. It's over. And then here, this is confusing. So this column here, alternate vote, he has an N here. Does that mean the alternate didn't vote or the alternate voted no? I had assumed he meant by that the alternate didn't vote, but he has a Y here, which has to mean the alternate did vote. But is this the alternate's vote, the nay? Or did the alternate vote yes? you're supposed to underline here when you have a rep and an alternate which one of those two people voted. I have no idea what the hell's going on here. So let's go look at mine. This was ballot number 130. Do you see how I underlined who voted? And under alternate vote, I don't put anything if they didn't vote. Okay? Because they're not required to. And I underline who actually voted. So let's try to figure out what was going on here. Okay, so Flores voted and he put a yes here. Then he put a yes, but the vote was no. Do you see how like utterly confusing this is? And notice I put the motion failed, not the motion is presently failing. And I put actual secretary notes that the ballot was originally ruled out of order. I put explanatory notes that are needed to understand the history of this ballot. Okay. Let's go look at another one. All right, this one's not linked. And this isn't a properly worded motion. I mean, I'm not even getting to the technical part of move to, I don't care about all that, but Scott Horton for lunch speaker and Larry Sharp is a breakfast speaker. Well, are you voting to see if he's a breakfast speaker or is he already a breakfast speaker? They were supposed to be voting to make him a breakfast speaker. So this motion is not right. Says presently passing. No, it passed. And let's see here. No underlines. We don't know who voted on what. And here's the next thing. Co-sponsors, COC. And an email ballot, the Convention Oversight Committee cannot sponsor a ballot. Email ballots require the specific names of 4 LNC members to sponsor it. Co-sponsor COC is utterly and absolutely incorrect. So we've looked at 4 ballots now, and they're all wrong. Let's go to the next one. What the hell? Okay, I don't even know why all these colors. This is what? Okay, so this was done at a meeting, so must be why he's doing that, but why he didn't include the lines is weird. Okay, moved by Smith, that's fine. And here the motion passed. Okay, this one's, it's ugly, but at least it's a little better. It says it passed. Okay, got it. But the alternate's not listed here like all the other ballots. Okay, so it's not consistent. Let's go to another one. No link. Anyway, oh no, there wouldn't be a link. This is at a meeting. Okay, this is moved by EPCC. Again, the EPCC didn't move this. The EPCC recommended it. He doesn't know what he's doing. And here's the thing. I think I've proven my point. I could go through each and every one and nitpick every one of them. I've already done this. None of them are right. We all make mistakes, okay? You can go to any of my work product and you're going to find a mistake here or there. What you're not going to find is a mistake on every single page or every single thing I did. You're not. Because I was a national level secretary. And one thing the LNC did, when they found a missing comma of mine, they rode my ass over it. Yet none of those hypocrites are saying a damn thing about this sloppy, embarrassing work product being put out. This is not national level work product. This is barely county level work product. It's not that difficult. It just requires you to be very, very detail oriented. Now, I had never been a secretary before when I was national secretary, but I was a paralegal for 25 years. And that's very similar. So I've done executive level because I've done legal secretarial work as well, because that's kind of combined in with doing paralegal work. So that's where my experience came from. And you have to be very precise and detail oriented to be a paralegal for that long. And he would probably have been a lot better now if the LNC had nitpicked his shit the way they did mine, because he would have learned. Maybe. Like, even when I was totally green as national secretary, I didn't fuck up this bad. Not going to claim I never fucked up, but I at least learned the bylaws and the rules, and I knew that EPCC couldn't sponsor an LNC ballot. This is terrible. It's embarrassing. Can you imagine if we let our treasurer slide like this? We'd be in like legal trouble. And the totally screwed up minutes from December 4th still aren't fixed. LNC members' names aren't right. You got Otto Dossing as David Dossing. I mean, it's embarrassingly sloppy, and they still aren't fixed. And I know the LNC sees this, and they're not saying a word. Hypocrites. No way you're going to tell me now everything they tried to do against me wasn't personal. The secretary before me, Alicia Matson, was a pro. When I was secretary in my work product, I was a pro. This is amateur hour. And we should expect better. And it's nothing against the guy as a person. He's a sweetheart. He's a very, very nice guy. And a very, very terrible secretary. This is a specialty skill set. It's not a character judgment. I couldn't be treasurer. And I've been the treasurer of an organization before, and I did okay, but I hated every minute. It was very, very difficult for me. So maybe I could do it, but I doubt it. Not everyone can be secretary, and that's not a slam on the person. It's secretary and treasurer can be the two hardest positions to fill, because it does require a certain warped mind to enjoy this kind of crap, and it takes a certain attention detail here, and it ain't here. And I'm LNC, but if he's not knowing that his not up to national standards, then there's a problem there too with self-awareness. Don't know. I can tell you what I would have did if I were him. I would have looked at the prior secretary's work, alleged, mine, and the prior, Alicia Matson, and strove to emulate that as much as possible. How did I get up to speed so fast? I copied the hell out of Alicia Matson because she was a pro. And you would have think when Joshua sent in my substitute minutes that corrected all of his errors, that somebody with a little like self-awareness would have stepped back and go, whoa, okay, are these criticisms valid? And they all were. Let me go and fix it and learn from this. Still hasn't been fixed. This is December's meeting minutes. Whatever happens in Reno, obviously I want to be reelected. But if it's not me, please elect a pro. If this convention runs smoothly on the secretarial side, it will be by the grace of God. Because I can tell you, running at the national convention challenged me, and I know what I'm doing. All right. This is not the type of show I enjoy making because I like the guy. Things like, showing how Chris Lucchini is corrupt, that doesn't bother me because I can't stand the guy. But this guy, I like. I don't think he's corrupt. I just don't think he's competent. I believe he was competent in his former role, which was Region 7 alternate, and he probably would have been a very, very good regional representative because a regional representative requires somebody personable that likes to talk with people and can connect with people. He definitely has that kind of personality. He would be an excellent at-large, probably. Not a secretary. Yeah, Richard McKinley, they allegedly removed me for mean words because I hurt their feelings. I hurt their feelings when I pointed out the corruption of the former chair. I have to count how many formers, Joe Bishop Henchman, when he tried to arrange a coup of New Hampshire and they removed me because I whistle blew on it. They'll deny that's why they removed. They removed me for 3 reasons. 1, being friendly to the Mises Caucus. I wasn't even a Mises Caucus member. 2, exposing the corruption of our former chair and causing him to resign in shame, threatening to sue me on the way out for daring to do my fiduciary duty to the party. 3, in December, I called them a bunch of cowards about the COVID regime and said, if you cannot speak out against the civil rights violations that are going on, you should disband the party right now. Those are the 3 real reasons they removed me. They made up a bunch of stuff. Like, she has a monetized YouTube channel. I wish I could make that up. I wish I'd make that up. And mean words. They decided that mean words were aggression because I hurt their feelings. And they didn't like my opinions. And they said my contrary opinions, which I always stated as opinions, were fraud. And you want to know what I have to say to that? And they don't like that I did stuff like that. That I didn't respect the authority. I don't respect corruption, and I don't respect cowardice. So yeah, Richard, they allegedly removed me, and they had to cheat to do it. Technically, it wasn't cheating by the rules, but under ethics, it was cheating. They snuck in a vote behind the back of Stephen Nikala. Stephen Nikala, who was Region 2 representative, had to leave because his wife was pregnant and there was a very important doctor visit he had to be there for. So he left, and he was told that his regional representative was not able to make, his regional alternate was not able to make that meeting. Once they learned that Steve had to go home to be with his pregnant wife behind Steve's back, they got the regional alternate in there in order to have the votes. I hope they are proud of themselves. They did not have the 2/3 votes. The whole thing is just a shady, shady mess. But 6 people on the LNC are excellent. All right. Hopefully I won't have to be bringing up this again, but it hurts. It hurts. It hurts that I was removed and replaced by somebody who wasn't competent to do the job. But at least he was a nice guy. They could have replaced me with a jerk who was not competent to do the job. I guess no, maybe that wouldn't have been worse because then I wouldn't feel bad about criticizing. I feel bad because he's such a nice guy. My God, he's a nice guy. All right. That's it for this one. Hopefully this will be the last stream of the night unless the LNC does something else stupid tonight. Let's hope they don't.